Welcome to the Marine FC official podcast. Now, I've got a very special guest joining me today, and it is Spurs legend and former England player as well, and current Spurs ambassador, Gary Mabbutt, MBE. So, welcome to the show, Gary. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on. How are you doing?
Yeah, thank you very much. Obviously, I was on a few weeks ago before the FA Cup tie, and I had a fantastic afternoon with some of the Marine fans, and thoroughly enjoyable and delighted to be back.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to have you back on, and obviously you came on with some members of our Marine in the community family, and you made their day, and you still talk about it now. I still do the Zoom sessions with them now, teaching them how to use technology and things like that, and they still bring it up and say how much of a fantastic afternoon it was. So yeah, it's great to get you to answer some of my questions as well as theirs. So yeah, we'll start with Spurs in the current moments. Obviously, we just had because Marine haven't got any football at the moment, so that's all we can talk about. Obviously, our season was curtailed after the Spurs game. So yeah, Spurs disappointing result last night, but you've got a world class manager there and some world class players who can turn it around. How do you think they can do that?
It's been a bit of a roller coaster season so far. We were top of the table in December, which was very exciting. And then we had a bit of a dip in form. And then obviously after that, Dele Alli and Gareth Bale came into the fold, and suddenly it looked like things were falling into place. We had, I think, 5 or 6 games unbeaten, 3 straight victories in the Premier League, and looked like we were just sort of knocking on the top 4 again. But then I think, unfortunately, the last 2 performances against Arsenal and Zagreb, I think obviously weren't up to the standards that we've been expecting, and of course getting beaten by our biggest rivals was that hurts a lot. I have a lot of my friends who are massive Arsenal fans, and had to turn my phone off because I was getting so much abuse down the phone. And of course, we played the game in the Europa Cup in the last 16 last night, so we were 2-0 up from the first leg, and I think we had the belief that we could go there and defend well and maybe catch them on the counter attack, get the away goal, but it just didn't happen for us. And I thought Zagreb were outstanding on the night, and at the end of it, hugely disappointing because I actually felt that we could go a long way in this competition.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and I think the best thing about a couple of performances that players will feel maybe is below par is that hopefully you'll now get a response from them, a rebound to what's happened. And looking at the games coming up, we've got Aston Villa away and Newcastle away in the next couple of weeks. And I think those are games that are both winnable. And the way this bizarre season is so far, everybody is throwing away points. And if we can get 6 points from those 2 games, we'll probably be back up in the top 4 area. So yes, a lot to look forward to. For myself, I believe that we can actually win a cup this season. Obviously, we're in the Carabao Cup final against Manchester City, and I think anything can happen in a one-off game. And of course, as I said, because things are so bizarre, I still feel that we can actually get into the top 4.
Yeah, the table's so tight, isn't it? It's kind of anyone's game at the moment, and obviously with Spurs have got a point to prove after the last 2 results, and let's not forget it's 2 results. It's within the space of a week as well, and Spurs have got that strength there to bounce back. And Marine fans certainly I have anyway been cheering Spurs on all season as our second team now after the game, and we'll certainly be doing so in the Carabao Cup final as well. So that's something to look forward to, considering we haven't got any football. But yeah, let's move on to your playing career. Then you had 16 years at Spurs, which is incredible, really, and won the UEFA Cup in 1984, of course, and the FA Cup in 1991. Captained the team for many years, and stayed on until 1998, which is incredible. So just wanted to ask you, what are some of your best memories playing for Spurs?
Crikey, there are so many. I was very fortunate. I had 16 years there as a player, and I was lucky enough to be captain for 11 years. And so, yes, some fantastic games I was involved with. Of course, the 84 UEFA Cup final was my first trophy for the club. And again, European nights also used to be so special at White Hart Lane. We wear an all-white kit in our European games, and to beat Anderlecht in the final that night was a truly amazing memory. I can remember after the game, we all got changed, and there used to be an old building with a balcony out on the front of the Spurs High Road. and we all went there with the UEFA Cup trophy after the game, and the high road was just completely blocked. Must be around, I don't know, 80, 90,000 Spurs fans had come out in. It must have been like gone past midnight by now, because obviously it was an evening game. We had extra time, we had penalties. So yes, that is got some very fond memories of. And he mentioned the FA Cup in 1991, obviously being captain of the club, and beating Nottingham Forest in the final, and as a captain. I mean, as a boy growing up, I came from a footballing family, and used to watch the cup final every single week, and every single year. But it was a special occasion because it was probably one of the only games that was shown live on TV, and it used to start about 9 o'clock in the morning on cup final day, with it's a cup final knockout and breakfast with the teams, and how the teams got there, and on the coach with the teams, and at the stadium. I mean, it was incredible build up, and a day's entertainment. And then as soon as the captain lifted the FA Cup, myself, my father, and my brother would go out to the local sports field and go and kick a ball around. And so when the final whistle went, and I was going to be the one walking up those steps to receive the trophy, it was quite an amazing feeling. And we actually got obviously Prince Charles, Princess Anna were all at the game, Duke and Duchess of Kent. When I received the trophy, and that moment when you turn and share that that moment of lifting the trophy to the fans, the noise that hit me, I mean, it was just incredible. So yes, very, very good memories of of an exciting day.
Yeah, gone all the way up. That's absolutely amazing story, and you had some fantastic years at Spurs, and obviously you played for England as well in that time, 16 times, and you actually scored for England against Yugoslavia as well. What was it like to represent your country and, of course, score for them as well?
Well, I've been fortunate in a way in that I played for England at every professional level. So the England youth team, under 21s, the England B team. I captained the England B team, I think, on 5 or 6 occasions. The England under-21s on, again, 5 or 6 occasions. Captained the youth side once. So during my sort of formative years, I was fortunate enough to be selected to play for my country. And of course, when you get the call up for the full international side, my debut was at Wembley against West Germany, as it was then, and walking out at Wembley was full, must be around probably 100,000 people there then, virtually mostly England supporters, wearing your English shirt, your England tracksuit, and standing there lining up and singing the national anthem before the game. Again, all those things you dream of as a boy, and you see it all the time watching England over those years on television. And suddenly you're actually there performing at Wembley in this game. And Germany had a very good squad. They just come out of they got to the World Cup final a couple of months earlier. They had likes of Karl-Heinz Rummenigge and Litbarski and some fantastic players in their side. But no, I mean, it was a great debut. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a couple of good efforts that got saved, and so no, overall, I don't think there's anything like representing your country, and it frustrates me a great deal when, I mean, there are a lot of pressures that get put upon players, a lot of expectations when you're playing for your country, and I get frustrated when I see a lot of people maybe singling out certain players, saying, do they really want it? Every single player that I've met, has wanted to play for their country. The fact of the matter is, sometimes the pressures can get too much. Maybe they can't handle it, whatever the scenario may well be. But I've never known a player not wanting to play for his country. So for myself, again, it was a truly memorable games I played for England.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's the stuff of dreams, really, and I know there's not a player who goes out there not wanting to play for the badge and represent the country, and of course that's what we'll hope to see at the Euros this summer as well. Big hopes for England. But yeah, you mentioned some top stars of German football there. But who would you say across your career, international and club, who would you say the best players you played with and against are?
Oh, that's a very good question. It's a bit of a trick answer, really, because I was lucky enough. I played in Ozzy testimonial game at White Hart Lane, and the midfield that night, there was myself, and alongside me I had Ozzy Ardiles, Glenn Hoddle, and Diego Maradona. So playing with Maradona was quite an experience. And then probably about 8 or 9 years ago, I was selected for a World FIFA 11 to go and play in Cape Town to celebrate Nelson Mandela's 90th birthday celebrations. And obviously, we had a fantastic side. We were playing against an all-African team who had Samuel Eto'o and the likes in their team. Our side, we had Buchagueno, Zubi Zareta, we had Christian Carambo, we had Ruud Gullit, we had a certain centre forward called Pele on our side. So obviously, I got to play alongside Pele and Maradona. And in that 1984 UEFA Cup run, we got to play against Feyenoord. And I was playing in the middle of midfield, and I was given the man marking role on a player for Feyenoord called Johan Cruyff. So, some of the best players in my era, probably I got to play with or against, and it was quite funny actually, and a bit off track. But when I was a boy, I was about 7 or 8 years of age, and I wanted a dog, but my father wouldn't get me a dog, so they got me 2 tortoises. So I had 2 tortoises in a sort of area in my front garden, and I had to name them. One was called Pele and one was called Cruyff. So it's quite amazing. A few years later, I got to play alongside Pele and against Cruyff. So quite a remarkable story. But no, I mean, as I say, mainly the question is asked about my time at Spurs. It's very difficult to choose. When I joined Spurs, I had the likes of Ray Clements, God rest his soul, in goal. The likes of Steve Perriman, Ozzy Ardiles, Ricky Villa, Glenn Hoddle, Steve Archibald. Throughout my time at the club, played alongside Clive Allen, Chrissy Waddle, Gary Lineker, Paul Gascoigne, Jurgen Klinsmann, David Ginola. We had some fantastic players. It's very difficult to choose. If I had to choose and was put on the spot, I would say I just can't choose between 2 of those players, and that would be Glenn Hoddle and Paul Gascoigne, closely followed by Ozzy Ardiles and Jurgen Klinsmann.
That's it's just some of the best players ever you've just mentioned. It's just incredible, really. And one thing I didn't have written down as well, but just want to ask you while we've got you on, what was it like playing with Gazza in a team? What was he like as a person as well as a player? Because obviously he was in some great form in periods of Spurs. So like, what was it like to be in a team with him?
Well, I was a captain when Paul joined us, and so yes, I'll say during his time at Spurs, he did give me a few headaches at times, but one of the most amazing players on the football field. He could grab a game by the scruff of the neck you didn't deserve to win and turn the game your way. His abilities in training, yes, he was. There were times when he was the character that he is. And there are many times on the field of play that we had many sort of disagreements, but being captain, I think he respected that, and we got on extremely well. I think Paul, crikey, for over the last probably 30 years now, I've always kept in close contact with him, and so yes, as I said, he's one of the best players I've ever played with. He was. I mean, I remember our first away game when he joined us, and I think we're away. I think it was at, I think it may have been at Nottingham Forest. And after the game, obviously, you get yourself changed, and you go into the players' lounge to have a drink with the opponents, and then go on the coach to travel home. I'm a diabetic, so I have to have I'd have 4 injections every day during my playing career. So after matches, I never went to the players' lounge. I used to go to the team coach, but us pampered soccer stars, we have 2 chefs on the coach with us who cook us a 4-course meal on the way home. So all very nice. And I'm on the coach on my own, halfway down, about to do my injection, which I have to do before every meal. And so I'm sitting there, I've just got my needle and the vial of insulin, and I clock Gazza getting on the bus. And he's walking towards me all the way, he's just staring at me. And he stops by the table, he goes, "Mabsy, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, Paul, I'm a diabetic. I have to have 4 injections every day." And he looked at me a bit strangely. He said, "What, just while you're a footballer?" I said, "No, Paul, I've got to have 4 injections every day for the rest of my life." He went, 4 injections every day for the rest of your life? I went, "Yes." "Cool," he said. "But you can't wait to die, can you?"
Jesus.
And look, there's that Gazza grin. But no, I mean, everywhere we went, he was always the life and soul of the party. It was tragic that he got injured in the semi-final of the, in the final of the FA Cup against Nottingham Forest. In the semi-final, he scored that fantastic free kick. That year, 1991, I think 1991 season was probably Paul's best season in football. Yeah. And I think the Spurs fans and us players alongside him were lucky enough to see him at his best. He ran the show. I mean, that cup final run, virtually every game, he was our talisman. And he was a very special talent.
He was. That's amazing. Some brilliant stories you shared with us as well. So nice one for that. It's amazing to hear all that. But yeah, obviously you've stayed with Spurs throughout your career as well. You've done some great things in an ambassadorial role, but in different roles with the FA and other things like that. But of course you're still working with Spurs. So as well as coming and joining us on the community Zoom a few weeks ago. What else does your current role as an ambassador of Tottenham Hotspur? What does that involve?
Well, again, it involves numerous different things. Sometimes, I've gone on pre-season tours with the team. So you've been out to South Africa, and you go out there for a week, 10 days with the team on pre-season tours. Went out to Kuala Lumpur a couple of years ago for I think it was the 30th anniversary of our Malaysian Spurs Supporters Club party. So I went out to join them for that. A lot of work mainly is done in the community. Obviously within the area around our stadium, and of course there's a lot of work that needs doing in those areas, and we get involved to a large degree. Myself and just for the lockdown last year, myself and Harry Winks, current Spurs player, we went to a home for people with dementia and Alzheimer's. Basically, it's called Sporting Memories. We're taking things to do with sport. So to do with football, we took in old rackets, programs, scarves, and then try and get the people there to interact with us. And then we're supposed to be there for about an hour, and we went there, and initially it's all very quiet and a bit tense. But suddenly, after we started talking a bit, and suddenly everybody seemed to come to life and talking about. There's one gentleman I was sitting next to that had been falling asleep a bit, and obviously I spoke to him and said, I know you're a Spurs fan, but who's your favourite ever Spurs player? And he said, oh, I don't know. And I thought of his age. I went, well, how about Danny Blanchflower? Suddenly he just his eyes just really came wide open. Oh, Danny! Started talking about Danny Blanchflower and the games that he'd seen. Just trying to get people to go back into their memories, just to try and revive some of their great times that they've had. And as I say, Harry Winks was there with me, and we stayed for about 2 hours in the end. He was fantastic with everybody. So there's a lot of work that we do. During lockdown, I've been calling a lot of our vulnerable supporters, so that's been taking me sort of 2 or 3 hours every day. Wow. Since last March, about a year now. So people over the age of 70, I've spoken to a lady who was 106 years of age, who supported Spurs for over 100 years. That's quite crazy. Remarkable. Yeah. A lot of people in their late 90s and then in their 80s. It's been sad on some occasions, people who've lost people to COVID. But the idea behind it is, of course, you phone them on their birthdays or anniversaries or special celebrations. Just have a chat with them and wish them, obviously, congratulations for the day. But also, if you speak to somebody for 5-10 minutes, you get an impression if they're okay, or if they're in a good place or not. And if they have got some issues that they're obviously bringing about to you, we have the Tottenham Hotspur Foundation, they have healthcare experts that can go in and to assist people. So we've been doing that for the last year. I think I did my 2,450th call today. So I called 12 people this morning. So yes, that's been very worthwhile, and speaking to some amazing people.
That's incredible. That's absolutely amazing. And the work that Spurs do, I didn't realise it was that extensive, and there was that much support there, which is for a football club, it's what every football club should aspire to, really, in the modern game, to have that influence over the community. That's absolutely amazing. And of course, our dealings with Spurs as well in the lead up to the game, Tottenham Hotspur as a club couldn't have been any better, and the fans, of course, couldn't have been any better, helping us with things like the virtual ticket campaign, which the support was absolutely phenomenal for majority Spurs fans, really. Most of the people, it was all across the football world, but mostly we're Spurs fans. So to see that support from every different continent in the world is incredible. It's a club that reaches everywhere in the world, and it's and the club itself, of course, were fantastic as well. And part of that was the Zoom that we've mentioned, the Zoom call that that you did with some of the members of our community. So there will be some of those listening to this podcast as well, if we can get them onto YouTube. No, I've been giving them tech lessons recently. So what was that like to be involved in the Marine, the community side of things in the lead up to the game?
Well, no, it was absolutely fantastic what took place in the build up to the game. I thought the way that both clubs came together, and for me, it showed exactly what the FA Cup and what football is all about. Bringing people together. I mean, the love of the game. I think the passions of the FA Cup couldn't have been much greater in this game, with the the golf in places between the clubs, and I think everybody pulled together. The Zoom call that we had went extremely well. Listening to some of the stories from the past about people going to Marine games like 20, 30 odd years ago, the club's history. So no, I mean, I just thought it showed everything that the FA Cup is all about. Again, I get a bit frustrated when people talk down the FA Cup competition, but it's the the oldest cup competition in the world. It was shown, the only cup that was shown globally for numerous years. I went to every country in the world live. And so, no, I mean, I think it really does hold a special place for all football supporters. I mean, I've been involved in cup shocks during my times at Spurs. Of course, going up to Marine on a very difficult conditions and situation. I think fortunately for us, I think the pitch was in remarkable condition. And it's I think was in our favour a bit. The game itself, well, to be honest, I think when Neil hit the crossbar and the ball went past Joe Hart when it was goalless. I mean, my goodness, if that had gone in. But of course, in the end, obviously, Vinicius scored his hat trick.
Yeah.
And another great story for us, a young lad, 16-year-old Alfie Devine, came on and scored a goal. So no, I think overall it all went extremely well. I think most people were expecting Spurs to win, and they did. But full credit to Marine and everyone involved with the club, because they put on a fantastic day for football, and I think everybody who watched it thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, he did. It was absolutely amazing. The highlight of my short career in football so far, and it was absolutely incredible. And Alfie Devine, of course, born in Warrington as well, so a local-ish lad to around here as well. So it was good to see him get on the score sheet. And I know a lot of us expected the results, but as an occasion, it was just incredible, and it was a link formed between the clubs really that we'll have to treasure for years to come. Really, it's fantastic to have that link there, and to still be in touch with you guys as well is something that means a lot to us, and we're very grateful for the support that the Tottenham and the fans gave us over the lead up to that tie, and we wanted to kind of treasure that link. So how do you think we can do that going forward?
Well, again, I think in this world that we live in, things should be done like this remotely. And obviously the links up with the club, I think the club definitely wants to maintain and to strengthen those links. So yes, I'm sure that there are things that we need to do, yourselves need to do, whereby each can help each other. So I'm sure that there are plenty of different areas, sharing ideas about areas of the community where we feel we can actually have a good impact, and maybe share that with each other. So yes, I think it's been a fantastic coming together, and one that hopefully will continue to strengthen.
Without a doubt, yeah, it's one we will certainly have to treasure, and one of the ways we're hoping to do that is to welcome Spurs fans up to Marine as well, if they can make it. Of course, we'll give them we've got the offer of them coming up and enjoying a Marine game. So do you think we can see you up at the Marine Travel Arena anytime soon when we're allowed fans back?
Well, yes, I think when we last spoke about it, there was discussions about this happening. But of course, we've been back in lockdowns a few times, still, and we're still in lockdown here. So it's difficult times, and as soon as things start to open up and get back to what we know is the way that football should be played. I mean, I'm not a great fan of watching the games on TV, if I'm honest. It's just shown that football is just not football as we know it without fans in the stadium. it's the fans that create the passion, create the intensity, create the excitement, and the players, respond to the crowd. And I feel sorry for the players and the staff to some degree, because it's like playing in the biggest league in the world and yet in training ground conditions. And full credit to the players. They've done a remarkable job in maintaining and still being able to make sure the football goes ahead. And if I'm being totally honest, it's kept most people in this country sane.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it's true. It's kind of football is very important to society in general, and not just from an entertainment point of view, but from the point of view that you've described through all the community work and things like that as well. So it's fantastic that football clubs have been able to step up in the pandemic situation and offer that level of support, which is absolutely incredible. So we'll hope to see fans back in the stadium soon. So hopefully back at Marine, and we'd love to see some Spurs fans up at Marine as well, of course, and enjoying some games together. And if I get the chance to go down to Spurs as well, I'd love to come and see a Spurs game. And I really enjoyed the documentary as well recently as well. It's the Mourinho show. It was absolutely amazing. But no, Spurs.
I'm sure all the links that we have, I'm sure that those things can be arranged.
I think that would be absolutely fantastic, and I look forward to it in the future when we are out of lockdown and when we are in a normal situation again. So yeah, I just want to thank you again for coming on and telling us some incredible stories and about your career as well. So thanks a lot for coming on and joining us on the podcast.
It's an absolute pleasure, and it's been great to join you again.
No problem at all. And thanks for everyone listening as well, whether you're listening on Spotify or watching on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast and give the others a watch as well. We've had a couple of other Tottenham guests on before. We had Martin Bahagia of the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust, who's a board member there, and we had Sean Cahill as well of Cartilage Free Captain, who's a Spurs fan who runs a fan site over in North America, who raised an incredible amount of money for Marine to sponsor the back of shorts for the game as well. So we've had some Spurs inspired guests on, and none better than Gary Mabbutt on today. So thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you very much. And what I would say is that I think this again has brought both clubs together, and I know, because I've got a lot of friends who are involved in local football, and I know how tough it can be running clubs at certain levels. But so everybody that got behind Marine during the FA Cup run for the Spurs game, please, when obviously Marine can start playing their games again, everyone keep that that enthusiasm going and back to support the club. And hopefully we can see both Marine and Spurs continuing to leap up the table.
Definitely. Success for both clubs, and we look forward to enjoying that together as well, because I'm definitely adopted Spurs as one of my clubs now, and I hope Spurs fans will do the same for Marine as well. That link will be treasured for years to come, and it shows the magic of the FA Cup. So yeah, thanks a lot for listening, as I say, and definitely join us next time on the Marine FC official podcast. Thanks to Tottenham Hotspur for making that happen, and of course to Gary Mabbutt for giving us his time. I hope you enjoyed the interview. So now we're going to move on to the last part of the podcast, and it's a new segment called Guess the Goal. So we've got some children from St Greg's School in Lydiate to commentate over some famous Marine goals for us, and we're going to show you the goal. If you're watching on YouTube, we're going to show you the goal blared out with the kids' commentary over the top. And if you're listening on Spotify, you'll just hear the kids' commentary. So let us know what goal you think it is. We'll start with an easy one. So if you're watching on YouTube, of course, comment which goal you think it is. And if you're listening on Spotify, then give us a tweet which one you think it is, and we'll pick one lucky winner to win a Marine the Community 2021 calendar, and we'll send you that if you let us know which goal you think it is. So here we go.
It's whipped in from the left-hand side to the back post. The header loops over the goalkeeper. It's over the line. Number 9 scores.
From his back, I can't believe it. This is a huge moment for Marine. Number 9 is sprinting to celebrate with his friends. The crowds are screaming. You can't even see player 9 because of his team on him. And happy birthday to the woman in the crowd with the banana boat cake. Have a good one, mate.
I'll give you a clue for this one because it's the first one we've done of the Guess the Goal series. So it rhymes with Drummond's against Schmavens and Waterlooville. So let us know what you think it is, and join us next time on the Marine FC official podcast.